Hello everybody, Bad Weather Freak. Have another video for you guys. You probably have seen it on the news, but we have a newly, I'd say newly formed, but it formed yesterday, Tropical Storm Bret. It is the second named storm of the 2023 hurricane season. There is a wave right behind it that it's showing some signs of organization. But overall, I'll be honest with you, I'm not expecting a whole lot from Bret or the other one behind them. Okay, let's put it this way. It already made history by just forming that far east this early in the season, in June. It is extremely rare. You don't see tropical activity in the far east Atlantic this early in the season. So it already probably most likely made history. And that's a feat on itself. But I'm not expecting this to basically be anything. I mean, you can kind of see on the last frames where it's kind of in the center of the, kind of like, let me just zoom in a little bit. You see this burst of thunderstorms right there toward that potentially could be the center of circulation. But that is basically what it has been doing since it got named. You guys can see that it's very disorganized. It's expected to actually keep moving west. Past south of Puerto Rico if it survives that far east. Nevertheless, you guys in the Lesser Antilles, you guys are definitely going to see some impact from Bret, which is most likely going to be rain and maybe a little bit of wind. But it's not going to be anything major, what you're going to be seeing here from Bret. Yesterday, the National Hurricane Center had Bret forming into a hurricane even before it made landfall in the Lesser Antilles, which it was kind of what they were expecting to happen. It was honestly, I'll be honest with you, the National Hurricane Center usually is very reserved in what they put out in their forecast. So I was kind of shocked that they went that bullish or that aggressive in the forecast. And when all the forecasting models, for the most part, were basically saying this thing is going to fall apart by the time it makes it to the Lesser Antilles. But south of Puerto Rico is notorious for shredding storms. A lot of wind shear coming from the Pacific towards south of Puerto Rico and the Western Caribbean. So it is something that I'm not expecting Bret to really survive that, but we'll see. It's just a waiting game, unfortunately. But this is, again, what is happening with Bret. As you guys can see, very disorganized. Now, if we look at the forecasting models, let's take a look at the GFS first of all. You can see GFS has it a very weak, and once it passes the island south of Puerto Rico, it just kind of dissipates. And it's just a pocket of moisture, basically, what is surviving. Now, the the American model originally had Bret kind of forming into a hurricane and curving out to sea like that. As you guys can see, very, very different from what is actually happening. Now, potentially, from what I'm seeing here, maybe some of the remnants, that's what the GFS is saying, may re-intensify once they reach the Gulf, if it does. But we'll see. That's way too far away, so I wouldn't even really believe that. But let's take a look at the European model. See, the European model, same thing, shows Bret, weak storm, make landfalls in the Lesser Antilles, and kind of falls apart as soon as it reaches south of Puerto Rico. The Canadian model... same thing. So it's looking like Bret is not going to have a pretty good chance of doing that. Now, the Navy, interestingly enough, it kind of has a strengthening south of Puerto Rico, this is the outlier, so obviously very different. But it goes and crosses Dominican Republic and kind of re-intensifies a little bit near the Bahamas. Again, I wouldn't probably pay too much attention to that. Now let's read as of the 2 p.m. update on not 2 p.m. actually, take that back, 11. It's already 2:25, but they didn't post anything, so 5 o'clock will be a big update. But as of 11 a.m. Tuesday, June 20th, 2023, Bret is moving westward across the tropical Atlantic. Potential tropical storm watches may be required for later tonight, and there's no changes from the last update. So just expecting conditions to go downhill. Some localized flooding, of course. Some of these mountains have high, or islands have high mountains, so that's prone to cause some flooding. But again, nothing major really. which is good. This is good news, but nothing like what it was. Some of the forecasting models were predicting, or even the National Hurricane Center yesterday. So that's everything I have for you guys. I wanted to keep this short and sweet. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, share with your families and friends, especially if they live in the Caribbean islands and the Lesser Antilles. But other than that, that's everything for now. For what is in regards to Bret. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.